My name is Randall Kalinin, and I'm a civil rights lawyer, and I'm here today with Dante Treese and Angelo Washington to try to get some changes at the Pearland Independent School District. Several months ago, 3 employees of the Pearland Independent School District thought it was okay to take a young African American boy, 13 years old, 95 pounds, 4 foot 11 inches, and color in his haircut onto his scalp with a black magic marker, and saying that he was out of dress code without calling his parents, without giving him the opportunity to call his parents. And that black magic marker stayed on him for several days, because if you try and put a Sharpie to your scalp, color it in, and see how long it takes y'all to get off that coloration, permanent. They call it a permanent magic marker for a reason. It's permanent. This caused great embarrassment. And this isn't the first time that the Pearland Independent School District has problems. As a matter of fact, the United States Department of Justice did a thorough investigation of the Pearland Independent School District and found that African American youth were 2.4 times as likely to be suspended from Pearland Independent School District schools than comparable white students. There is a history here, a pattern and practice of discrimination against African American youth, and what happens when you let that go? You get what happened to Jules Treese, 13 years old, never in trouble with the law, never in trouble with the school before or since. 3 adults, assistant principal, now the head principal. Apparently, the Pearland Independent School District did not think this was very serious, because now he is the head principal of the very school in which Jules Treese is today, in the 8th grade. And Jules Treese is going to graduate probably from the Pearland Independent School District in 2025. And these people need some training. Not just with this case, but with several other cases and the many instances which the Department of Justice has pointed out. So what we did yesterday was we filed a federal lawsuit, because schools that receive federal funds have to not discriminate based upon ethnicity and race. And that's what we have here. No, I have heard of no example where administrators of schools, and we're not just talking about one individual lower level teacher, we are talking about the head principal. And we're also talking about the clerk, the discipline clerk, whose job it is to know what the discipline is and know what the dress code is. That's who did this. That's who got together, and they were laughing when they did it. This is a 7th grade young man. Adults, 3 adults, coloring his skin black, jet black. That can affect you, and it did affect him. And we are here today with the parents, with members of the community, because we are not going to stand for systemic racism at the Pearland Independent School District. Kids should not be subjected to adults grabbing them and coloring in their hair or their scalp with permanent magic markers. That's assault, and we've sued for assault. And the Pearland Independent School District does not think it's serious. They have done nothing. These 3 individuals who colored in the scalp of Jules Treese are still working in their same positions today, except with the one exception, as I mentioned, and that is the assistant principal is now the head principal. So that's what we're here today, to try to do something about this. And before we hear from the parents of Jules Treese, I have a few activists here who would have a few words to say. So Cynthia, would you like to say a few words? Oh, sorry. Let me get that.
Good afternoon. I'm Cynthia Cole. I'm the Executive Director for Ask Me Local 1550. I'm here today as an activist with the Greater Houston Coalition for Justice. Now, there are some things you can go ahead and say, that's all right. That child probably should have been disciplined. But then you write a note. You call a parent. You give them a warning. A dress code and then putting a marker in somebody's head is not a dress code. That is assault, and we are not going to stand for it. Today, you just see a few of us here. We're coming back. And when we come back, we're going to take it to Facebook, Instagram, wherever else we need to go to say, you know what? This is not 1959. This is not 1969. This is 2019. And we will not stand for that level of discrimination. You're not going to embarrass a young African American. You're not going to beat him down, and we're not going to stand for it. Now, there will be some repercussions to this. I don't care who thought it was a funny idea. Who's laughing now? I say we go and find these same 3 individuals and everybody get go ahead and get your Sharpie and then draw on them. Huh? See how that feels. See how that works out. Injustice. Injustice. It's going to stop. Oh, yes, it is going to stop. And what is the solution to it stopping? That means you take care of your problem. That's them 3 adults, not the young man that was embarrassed. That's what that means. Please, pull back, because we will rise up and we will push back to say, no, this is not right. It is an injustice.
Thank you, Cynthia. Next, we'll hear from Shelby Stewart.
My name is Shelby Stewart. I'm a civil rights activist. My group is a coalition to defend civil rights and human dignity. And I'm a retired Houston police sergeant. There is a stain on the integrity of the Pearland Independent School District. How can a black parent be comfortable bringing their child to a school in this school district when this has happened to a 7th grader who had never been in trouble? You cannot protect our children if you do not respect them, if you do not respect their rights and you do not care for them. This school district has an absence of truth, of ethics, of justice, and they have too much bias, and the stench of racism reeks through the decisions that were made by this principal.
Thank you, Shelby. And next we'll hear from Dante Treese, the father. If you have some questions, probably is the best way to start this off. You have some questions of the father?
Sir, how is your son right now?
He doing good. Like, they started school on last Thursday, and he all right, but he real nervous, he real uncomfortable, and it's sad because he like all this stuff. Like today, he called me from school, like all this stuff coming up again, and it's sad because like his music teacher, like they were close, he like her, but it's like he wanted everything to go away, but it's like that principal, like they done it to him, so he like right now he called me from school, he's sad, so, and he shouldn't have to go through that, like he uncomfortable, like. He's like, well, what if he's playing football? He's like, what if they don't give me a fair chance on the football field because of what's going on and all that? So he's really uncomfortable. Like, he's very uncomfortable, and this is bad.
So as a father, what was your first reaction when you heard about this?
I was mad. I was really mad, and because it's like I say, I just imagine 3 people hold my son's head down with a marker, against his will, like, and I'm not there. I wasn't there to help him. Like, I always been there. Since we've been born, like nothing happened to my baby, and like now it's like I gotta live with the fact that my son's head was like this, and somebody was drawing with a marker. And let's keep in mind he had just got his haircut the day before, so his scalp was wide open. So yeah, I was mad. I was really mad, and then I'm even more mad that here it is, another school year started. Nobody even contacted us like, hey, let's have a meeting to try to resolve. We went to this training, went to that training. This, like, nah, what we get is the principal that was assistant principal, now he's the head principal. So it's like, yeah. And we haven't got not a call, not a letter, not an email. Only thing we got is the press letter that went out to everybody saying that our son was given an opportunity to call his parents and he chose not to. Man, my son like this. It wasn't a bad report card. It wasn't that he done something wrong at school. It was a haircut. So, hey, Dad, they sending me home because my hair not right. Okay, I'm on the way. Simple as that. But no, just hold my son's head down and draw it. Nah, that ain't right.
Did your son ever say anything about what his classmates had said after seeing you like that?
Yeah, so we got like a lot of Facebook and Instagram posts from kids calling him a thug. Like, if you met my son, nowhere near it. Yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Very polite kid, like saying that, like kids were saying that, oh, even adults, oh, his parents, they're looking for money. Like, she has her own business, I have my own business. Not looking for no money with this. We're looking for justice for my son. Like, it just wasn't right. And it's like, if we don't do something about what happened, it's like, and it's hard. It's hard because my son don't want this to be going on because he had to deal with this at school. We don't want it to be going on because we know he has to deal with this at school. But it's like something gotta happen, whether it be training, like something gotta happen. It just can't be like, oh yeah, we're gonna draw on your son's hair, then we're gonna promote the person who done it. Nah, we're not doing that.
How does it resolve where you guys looking forward to? What would satisfy you parents?
I mean, for the most part, training. Because it's like, when you have people in position like that, they can intimidate the kids. You know, like for a 7th grade kid, ISS is equivalent to jail for an adult. We don't want to go there. So it's like, just imagine if there was my daughter in the office and he like, take your pants off or I'm sending you home. He using his power to scare these kids, and it was just a marker this time, but who's to say it won't be more next time? Or it haven't been more.
Do you think
So-
those 3 officials should resign?
2 of the 3. The music teacher, no. But like the disciplinary clerk and the principal, for sure. Just because like that's their job, like they oversee everything. And from my understanding, the music teacher was like pretty much caught in on the back end, like, here, finish this. You know, so she's doing, again, somebody overheard what they told her to do. So
What kind of training, when you say there should be more training, what kind of training do you think there should be?
for the most part, like, I mean, I feel like there should be some type of cultural training because, you know, it's a lot of a lot of people know about other cultures, but they don't know about African American culture because it's not important. So that's for one thing. And then 2, I mean, like, they should know like what's going on in the world with kids. You know, like that's how they express themselves, like a part in his hair. Like, that's not hurting nobody. When you got kids walking through school with long black trench coats on, with black fingernails and black stuff under the eyes, that's okay. But my son got a little. But the difference is the culture. Like, you know, so when I was growing up, that was gothic, that was the devil, that was bad. You know, but designing your hair has never been bad. I mean, unless it's a game. But I mean, he not in the game. It wasn't a game related something.
Now, the school later came out and said, well, we're changing the dress code to allow this. What was your response to that? Was that
Yeah, I wouldn't know because, like I say, we haven't been contacted at all. Like, she sent email like when it happened, like, hey, we want to set up a meeting. You know, like, nobody's okay. I think the email was like, I get with the superintendent and we get with you. Nobody even, and that's kind of why we're here right now. Like, all this could have been resolved a long time ago, but it's like, so y'all just gonna say like, oh, we don't care about Joel's or his parents or any other black students. We don't care. Like, it don't mean nothing to us. So you're not important enough for us to get back with your parents or even get back with you.
So you weren't notified about the change to the dress code or notified at all?
I wasn't notified at all, no.
This might be a question for the attorney, but
Yes.
Pearland ISD, they already gave us a statement. They said they have nothing to say and that they learned about the lawsuit from us, the news
Yes.
coverage. What is your response to them saying they have nothing to say because you guys didn't come to them?
Well, as a matter of fact, we did come to them. We wrote them a letter, and I can send you all that letter. And we said that we wanted training in the letter, and that was on July 1st. Not one single response. And I sent that to each and every school board member and the superintendent, and not one of them contacted me. And also, if you look at our lawsuit, Angelo Washington, the mother, sent an email to them saying, hey, very respectfully, to the board, the superintendent, hey, let's get together, talk about this, what happened. Complete silence. As I said in my lawsuit, they are doubling down They are doubling down, and that's why we have to go to the federal court system, because we have given them every single opportunity to do something, and they have refused. And I think the DOJ report from 2015 says it all, that when it comes to African American youth, 2.4 times as likely to be disciplined. And the concept of just changing the dress code, well, what about the coloring in of the skin? That's not right, no matter what happens. Coloring your scalp. The fact that they didn't call the parents, you know what you got to do if you got a wrong haircut on the side here? What you got to do? Oh, zip, taken care of. And that's what they would have done. They would have simply removed the alleged design that caused this problem, and it would have been gone. There needs to be some training, because the United States Constitution says that students do not lose all their rights just because they go to a public school. They are entitled to due process. And if there's such a serious matter that you got to be suspended from school, then there has to be some sort of meeting. But that was never done. None of that was ever done. And this concept that a 13-year-old 7th grader is somehow responsible for this, that's crazy. And so we are here today to right this wrong through the court system, because apparently the Pearland Independent School District does not care about African American people.
How much are you seeking in damages?
Well, that's to be determined. We have to look at, there's a lot of different factors. However, Jules did suffer quite a bit, so I really couldn't put a number on it, and we'll find that out through the lawsuit. But our main focus is training. The person who did this, the main orchestrator, is now the head principal of the very school which Jules Treese is now in the 8th grade. That's the person in charge they have here at his school. The guy who thought it was okay not to call the parents, the guy that thought it was okay to color in the hair, and the same with the discipline clerk, she's still there. The one who thought it was okay to color in someone's scalp, who thought it was okay not to call the parents, who thought it was okay not to give the due process under the Constitution. So that's why we're here today, is apparently they do not want to do anything to it, and when that happens, you have to go to the court system.
What do you think would have happened to a non-African?
In my opinion, I believe this, in my experience as a civil rights lawyer for 25 years, I don't think this would have happened to a non-African American student. I think that, I don't even know if they would have been called out. I don't even know. They might not have even been called for discipline, but certainly not taking a jet black magic marker and coloring the skin. I don't know one single African American, not even one, who has jet black skin. Not one. None of you here do, and none of my friends do. And so this concept that, you're coloring in his hair with this jet black, or scalp with jet black, that's going to show up more, and it did show up more. It didn't help. It made it more prominent than ever. There are really no white colored people, and there are really no black colored people. We're all different shades of the same people. And we are going to make the Pearland Independent School District respect African American people.
When did that incident happen?
It happened on April 17th of this year.
And is it okay if we get your name, stories, and your son's name, or you want us to?
It's already been used all over the place. It's already out there.
Yeah.
How did you guys first learn about this happened? Was it when you picked your son up from school, or
From the bus stop.
on the bus
Getting in
stop?
the car.
What was your initial reaction?
I was upset.
You can help it. You can help us.
I was really upset because, like I said, I wasn't informed. He had this before, so I didn't think that it was going to be an issue of him having the design again.
Oh, he had this haircut before.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was it.
So, how do you feel about your son's safety at this school?
Honestly, I'm scared. I wouldn't say scared, but I know that he don't like the attention, and I know that he's uncomfortable. So that is more so. I don't want him going through. He's going to remember this for the rest of his life, and it's his 8th grade year. I don't want him, having to deal with this. His middle school year is basically ruined. 7th grade and 8th grade, he's going through unnecessary drama that he should be having fun and worried about enjoying with his friends, and not his friends gossiping about him behind his back of what happened and him being in the news, because kids are cruel, so you never know what is really going on.
Talk about the email that you sent. Was it earlier this summer? You reached out, and what was the exchange?
It was on April 24th is when I sent out the email. That I basically asked for a meeting, and I never got an email back. I check my email every day. Never got a phone call or anything.
This haircut, is it some kind of a brand? Is it some style? What is it?
Well,
All the kids wear yeah, it's just a fade. There's all the kids wear it. We seen it online, and so it was nothing that we thought that was, would be a distraction in school.
When you say fade, it's just a fade, right?
Yep.
Like my haircut.
And
And it's just like a little freehand design.
How do you feel about having to explain that to someone what it is? It's really nothing.
That's the training we said, the cultural training.
cultural training.
So it's like, you gotta know what's going on with each and every kid, each and every culture. I mean, that's part of the training.
Yeah.
And how long did your son have that haircut prior to that incident?
He had the design for like 3 weeks. He just had cut his hair low because at first it was like kind of curly at the top. So that he only had it for not even 24 hours. But he's always had the design.
So, was it their objection to the haircut, or was it the way in which they handled it? What most upsets you guys? The way they handled it, or just the idea that they
All of
changed
it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Both.
All of it was uncalled for. It could have been handled a lot better than that. Especially when we stayed 10 minutes away. It would have been nothing to come and pick him up.
And the media has also seen their response when you told them about this. They're not going to talk to you. They're going to ignore it some more.
Do you think that the district is racist in handling this type of situation?
The DOJ report speaks for itself.
Yeah. Now that this has happened, I've had a lot of other parents come to me, say about other situations. And I wasn't aware of any of it. I've had so many, messages. People found my phone number, called me. So it's been happening a lot, and it gets swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And it's not just African American. It's like, other races, so that they're not aware of this is normal, but, it's not normal to them, so they discriminate.
There is no court date set. Yesterday we filed the lawsuit, and what happens next is the judge will set a hearing for what's called the discovery phase, and it takes a while to go through this whole case, but eventually it will come to a culmination, and we're going to present all the evidence to the judge and jury in this case if necessary. And I wouldn't doubt if the school district will probably try to bury their head in the sand, hire some lawyers, and spend the taxpayers' money instead of solving the problem and talking to the parents. They probably are just going to do the same thing that they've always done, and we're ready for that. Thank you very much. If you have any more questions, you can talk to us afterwards.